Trump did an interview on Fox News. We referenced it earlier, but now I want to really take a deep dive into some of these clips. It was so bad, and you can tell Trump gets really upset to the point of shushing Laura Ingraham. Because Laura Ingraham, even on Fox, probably would feel bad not asking basic questions about the economy and how people's perception of it doesn't align with Trump's statements about it, or in some cases his lies about the numbers relating to it. And Trump did not like this. He did not like it at all, you can tell. And his answer wandered very badly and was not compelling to me. Let's take a look. We have a lot to look at in this segment. Please do, as you watch these clips, click the subscribe button. Get the bonus show by clicking the join button. That's super fun. We have a bunch of fun with our members. Join button on YouTube. But the subscribe one is free and very powerful.
The economy was listed as a top concern. I know you know this, for voters in New Jersey, New York, Virginia. And I know you've been all over the affordability issue today and for the last several months. Eggs, gas, dinner costs for Thanksgiving way down. But other things, as you noted, have gone up. Beef, coffee, auto repairs. Is this a...
Shh. Laura, don't tell people those things. That's such a perfect example of Trump's relationship with Fox News. You say inconvenient truths, shh. And also, I feel like that was pretty patronizing. And I thought that Bobby just promised us that we won't be patronizing women anymore.
And standing with women. The era of ignoring women's health is older. The era of patronizing women is older. Mm-hmm. The FDA will follow.
The era of patronizing women is older, he says. Okay, good. I'm seeing some patronizing going on here, though.
Eggs, gas, dinner costs for Thanksgiving way down. But other things, as you noted, have gone up. Beef, coffee, auto repairs. Is this a voter perception issue of the economy, or is there more that needs to be done by Republicans on Capitol Hill, or done in terms of policy?
More than anything else, it's a con job by the Democrats. They're saying, they just have to say, they put out something, say today costs are up. They feed it to the anchors of ABC, CBS, and NBC, and a lot of other, and CNN, and et cetera. And it's like a standard. I'll never forget, they had used a word like manufactured. Do you remember the word manufactured? It's a manufactured economy. Nobody uses that word. Every anchor broke the manufactured. They do exactly what they say. It's such a rigged system. So are you ready? Costs are way down. Gasoline is going to be hitting $2 pretty soon, or around $2. Gasoline is at $2.70 now. And it was at...
Okay, let's stop there because there's so much. Number one, this could not be more catastrophic for the Republican Party. Top issue in people's, and Trump's saying, I should specify, that it's a con job by the Democrats. What people in poll after poll are saying is their top issue, affordability. And he's saying it's a con job. Then he just starts saying incoherent stuff about talking points, manufacturing. Have you heard of that word? Old-fashioned word, like grocery, manufacturing. And I didn't even understand the point there. It's not a talking point. You don't have to feed the numbers to CNN and MSNBC when the actual numbers show what they're reporting on. That's what the reporting is about. But because he referenced gas prices, I saw that Fox News had to report on the triumph of Trump's lowering of gas prices. Take a look if you can notice something.
Let's bring in the Interior Secretary, Doug Burgum. He joins us live now.
Doug. We don't have the spooky music yet. I want this. There you go. Okay.
Mr. Secretary, honor to have you on the program today, sir. I'll ask you a question so many are talking about, and that is gas and oil prices. Thankfully, we have seen oil come down significantly, more than 20% since Election Day. Gas prices are now negative under this administration, almost to the $3 mark. How much do you believe?
So Trump said gas prices were at $2. They then show a chart showing it's at $3.07, and a year ago was at $3.08. So energy in general's up. It's up. Household electricity bills up significantly. And we're supposed to be trusting in Trump because essentially gas prices are flat. Exactly where they were a year ago. I love them going, and we noticed that gas prices are in the negative by a cent. A cent. And not $2 like Trump was saying. Okay, so that I just wanted to play for you. Let's get back to this.
$4.50 under Biden, under Sleepy Joe. When gasoline comes down, when energy comes down, and everybody agrees energy's down, we're drill baby drill. We're going like wild. We produce more gasoline, oil and gas in the last month than we ever have before, by far. And we're going to also end up filling up the national strategic reserves, which were taken out by Biden in order to try and win an election. Didn't work out too well. They tapped in. That's supposed to be for war, for national emergency, not to get.
So are you saying that voters are misperceiving how they feel, or?
So when I took over, you remember?
Because you said Biden did that too, because he was saying things were great, but things weren't great.
It's synonymous, Biden and Kamala, because you didn't know who the hell was campaigning. I mean, it got to a point. So I was up by 20 points on Biden or some crazy number. And they said, all right, let's get him out. We'll put a new one. This never happened to anybody. All of a sudden, they have somebody new. And they had the 6-week honeymoon, which was standard in the world of politics. You get a little honeymoon. And she had her little honeymoon, but then eventually people...
What are you talking about? You were asked about affordability. What are you talking about?
I do the weave.
Wow. Laura Ingram's just completely gobsmacked by this. She can't put lipstick on this pig. I don't mean he's a pig. I don't mean that. It's a phrase. It's like a common phrase. She can't put whipped cream on this pile of poo. That's also a different phrase that people use commonly where I grew up. And then he ultimately has to circle back to the topic that was actually asked about.
But even with interest rates up, the economy is the strongest it's ever been. You asked me, just to go back to the beginning of your question, you talked about prices. We're down on energy. We're down on interest rate. Interest rates are down despite the Fed. Now, if we had a normal person at the Fed, would have really low interest rates, and we will soon have that. We'll have somebody that's...
And why are people saying they're anxious about the economy? Why are they saying that?
I don't know that they are saying. I think polls are fake. We have the greatest economy we've ever had. We will have over 20 trillion...
Oh, no, don't even get started with that nonsense. Nonsense. Let's see if he's correct that people don't actually feel that way. And remember, because it doesn't do anything to point out these discrepancies and contradictions and hypocritical standards, but I think it's still important too, which is Biden got crushed PR-wise because he dared to point out what he thought he was doing well in the economy. But that was perceived as ignoring all the things that still needed to be done on the economy. Despite a really historic recovery from a historic economic collapse that started under his predecessor. Despite that, he was not allowed in the court of public opinion to ever acknowledge good things that were happening. It had to be, this is all terrible and it's all because of me. People would honestly make it sound like their punditry advice to Biden was to go out there and be like, things terrible, and I did it, so elect me. But he was trying to do that balance, and maybe not the best. Well, this is controversial, but I would say maybe not the best communicator at that point. It could be debated, but not the best. And so he was struggling with that case, but he would get flamed anytime he would say, and he would never say, no one has those concerns. They're a con job. It's all invented. And that's what Trump's saying. So here's the real numbers.
And Trump doubling down on the economy, now claiming that there is virtually no inflation, and most recently also saying quotes like this: I don't want to hear about the affordability, claiming that Democrats are making up numbers. But the big question is, no matter what they're saying, how do Americans feel about the economy right now and the impact of rising prices, where inflation is, paying their bills, being able to buy food at the grocery store? Harry Enton is taking a look and running the numbers on all of this. Politicians can say politician things,
yes,
but where are things with the economy right now and how people are feeling about it?
Yeah, what President Trump is trying to sell, the American folks aren't buying, and we can see it pretty simply here. Take a look here. This is consumer sentiment, the current conditions. Consumer sentiment could be the current conditions or it can be future expectations. We're looking at current conditions. And get this, according to the University of Michigan, we are dealing with the worst ever view of current conditions dating all the way back since 1951. This is record-breaking in the way you don't want to be breaking.
So he says people aren't actually feeling that way. In reality, we have unprecedented numbers on how people are feeling. So what is Tucker doing? I think many people were wondering that. He probably is doing substantive deep dives into the Trump economic failures exacerbating long-term systemic problems in our economic system, right? He is, what the word I'm looking for, so you fill it in, the leader of MAGA in some people's minds. So what is he talking about? What economic issue is he covering today?
It's always the obvious questions that are so vigorously discouraged. And one of the questions that's been the most discouraged over the
how do we fix our economy?
Past 30 years are what are those lines in the sky that you see trailing jets? What is that?
What is that?
Some people call them chemtrails, claim that somehow the U.S. government is spraying poison on the population. Those people are clearly crazy. Wikipedia calls them crazy. Every news outlet calls them crazy. But the trails are still there. And it's clearly not water vapor because that doesn't make sense at all. So what are they?
Well, it kind of does. He just brushes off the reputations.
We've spent the last 6 months trying to find
6 months, and all you did was bring on some gook?
Someone credible who could explain that to us. A serious, sane person with an engineering background who could tell us, what are we looking at? Because we're looking at something. And I don't care what names you call me. I still want to know what it is.
So, yeah, he's talking about contrails, and this led to him getting ruthlessly mocked. Moron, people called him. Tucker Carlson ruthlessly mocked over this conspiracy. You can take that down, Jaden. And we've gone through this before, but in case you are curious, people call it chemtrails when they're trying to denote a conspiracy where somehow all of the random staffers who do maintenance on planes, all of the airline employees who are relevant in their job to the systems that would have to be in place to do this, all of the people inside of the government, in private companies, etc., are all a part of a conspiracy to spray chemicals all over us for some reason. In reality, you have the little lines in the sky, contrails being a result of aircraft engine exhaust, water vapor from hot jet engine exhaust condenses and freezes in the very cold, high altitude air. But it can't be that, obviously. Obviously, it couldn't be that. It has to be chemicals to turn us all trans, maybe. I don't know. But he had a whole podcast about that. That's what he's focused on. We'll get back to the more important stuff. Trump. Well, okay, this isn't that important. Inventing words.
Well, first of all, the East Wing was a beautiful little tiny structure that was built many years ago that was renovated and expanded and disbanded and columns ripped out. And
expanded, disbanded, etc. And then we'll look at this, which is Trump is very upset at air traffic controllers who, many out of economic necessity, didn't work for periods of time whenever the government is shut down and they weren't getting paid, and Trump's mad at them. So he's saying he's going to give bonuses to the ones who stayed, which he won't.
Did is say the ones that stayed, of which there were a lot of them, I'm sending them a $10,000 bonus.
Where's that money coming from?
I don't know. I'll get it from someplace. I always get the money from someplace regardless. It doesn't matter. I do a lot of bonuses for people because it's really something that, it's like the American way when you think about it.
I don't know where the money's going. Can you give them a bonus if they'll figure out the chemtrail truth? Which, by the way, as I referenced, think about how many random people work on the airplane engines, do maintenance at this Boeing and all the other companies, I know all of them, but I'll just say Boeing, and that are involved in China, where they show up. China! Over Australia. You got an Australia? Checkmate. Sweden. Brazil. Different companies. All flying in different places with different governments, with different incentives. Random low-level staffers turning a screw. A bunch of them have to be in on a global conspiracy to spray stuff. That's his argument. And we're crazy for calling him crazy. I'm not crazy, you're crazy. Then this.
But it's so... President Xi was willing to do the rare earth thing, that's magnets. Now, nobody knows what a magnet is. If you don't have a magnet, you don't make a car. You don't make a computer. You don't make televisions and radios and all the other things. You don't make anything. It's a 30-year effort.
That's now the second time that he's claimed no one knows what a magnet is. And I think this brought to my mind, just because it's one of my favorite clips, computer. I do want to... He does know a good bit about computers. And I think we should credit him with that, because we do remember this, right?
But is Barron's aptitude, in your view, business or politics?
Maybe technology. He can look at a computer. I try turning off his car, turn it off. I turn off his laptop. I said, oh, good. Now, and I go back 5 minutes later, he's got his laptop. I said, how'd you do that? None of your business, Dad. No, he's got an unbelievable aptitude in tech.
No one knows what a magnet is. You can't turn on a computer. My son knows how to turn on a computer. Wow. So, what have we missed? This is a Trump interview. What's something he's been saying a lot recently that I haven't yet shown him saying? Guess and see if you're correct.
Chicago Mayor, your dear friend Brandon Johnson, is calling on the United Nations to investigate what he calls the abusive immigration crackdowns in the city by your ICE officers and so forth. The UN in Chicago? What is your message to him?
Well, look, number one, he's got a 4% approval rating. You have people in Chicago, beautiful black women wearing a MAGA hat, red MAGA hat. Please come, Mr. Trump, President. They call me President.
Yeah, what the heck was that?
In Chicago, beautiful black women wearing a MAGA hat, red MAGA hat. Please come, Mr. Trump, President. They call me President. They call me Mr. They can call me whatever they want. Please come, President Trump. Please come to... They're begging us to come.
Please come, President Trump. They're begging us to come.
As a side note, they just put on the lower third chyron like it was news. Trump says Chicago mayor has 4% approval rating. And so then I Googled it, and his approval rating's 26%. That's still not good, but that's just not... Why would you... Trump says this. Well, it's not true. And then, yes, Trump has this obsession with how black women love him so much, and they want him to come to Chicago.
Beautiful black women walking around with red MAGA hats. And I see black women wearing a red MAGA hat. Black women with MAGA hats on in Chicago. Beautiful black women walking around with MAGA hats. I said, beautiful black women wearing MAGA caps all over the city. It's the most incredible thing. I love it. Beautiful black women are wearing a MAGA hat last night on television.
A strange obsession indeed. And the way he words it. What was the soundbite again while I get this next clip pulled up?
Please come, President Trump. They're begging us to come.
Mm-hmm. Then Laura Ingraham was not convinced by the quality of Trump's gold.
The one thing with gold,
why not?
You can't imitate gold, real gold. There's no paint that imitates gold.
So these aren't like from Home Depot or something?
No, this is not Home Depot stuff.
No, not stuff you buy.
This is not Home Depot.
Laura Ingraham throwing some jabs